Well, what do you do when it's too wet to farm? Go get your mom mulch and mulch her flower beds for her. Let's get this mulch party started. Okay, here's what we got done so far. A little bit of mulch and re-rocking. I think it's looking pretty good. My mom better be freaking happy. Well, look who came to help. This is my younger sister, Emily.
Hi.
We got all this yet to do. I don't think it'll be too bad. It's only the hottest day of the year so far. Well, I'm taking a break from doing some mulch, checking out the beans planted by my parents' house. These are the first beans we planted. They look pretty good. About 2 or 3 days ago, they still were yellow and just barely popping out, not really leafing. Now they're leafing pretty well, as you can see. And another thing, we switched to a bean planter this year instead of a bean drill, so we're on 15-inch rows instead of 10. So my dad and I are pretty interested to see how they're gonna look and how it's gonna turn out. So hopefully you're along for the ride and you see how it turns out as well. We are getting to do some farming today. Okay, so we are out in the field right now. We're doing some turbo tilling, which is a probably within the top 3 to 4 inches. We are mixing up the dirt and breaking down some of the corn stalks left over from last year. You can see that this pass over here, the line's right about here. So this side has not been turbo tilled, and this side has. It makes a much nicer seed bed to plant into. Makes it much cleaner, helps break down those corn stalks way quicker, which gets more, lets the plant able to use the nitrogen or the fertilizer and everything that's down in the soil much better. We're going to be planting soybeans here, so trying to get it worked up to be able to hopefully plant within the next couple days. We're gonna see the machine in action. This is my sister Megan. She's running the turbo till today. So let's get it moving. Set it down. It has an auto steer, so it makes it nice. You're able to really watch behind you and make sure everything's going as it should. It's a little wet yet, but thinking that if we turbo till it and get some air to that ground underneath, it'll dry out a lot quicker. You got to keep down pressure on those wings, because if they don't, they'll start to float up a little. The wings are the outside 2 sections. If they start to float up, you'll notice that the stalks don't get broken down as well. But this whole field looks like Megan's been doing a good job. This is probably a 40-acre field or so should take her a couple hours to get it done. This is a 30-foot implement, so. This machine has rolling discs, little fingers, and then rolling baskets on the back. It does a really nice job of breaking up these corn stalks and getting it ready to plant in. Well, she'll be going back and forth for a while yet, so we're gonna head off back to the farm. I have to go treat some soybeans, which is something exciting that I think you guys are gonna like. So let's roll back to the farm. All right, so these 4 bins are full of soybeans, untreated, just plain soybeans. You can see in the little hole right here, right there, that they're yellow, just like your normal soybeans. What we do here is we treat soybeans with fungicide, insecticide, inoculant. It all depends what the gentleman or the farmer, the grower, wants on his seed. So we come back in here, the beans come from out there, they run on the conveyor underneath, they go up this conveyor, up here into this hopper. And then what I will do is, at the very beginning, before all of that, I go into this computer system and tell it what I want the seed to be put, what I want to be put on the seed. I tell it, okay, I need some of this drum, I need some of that drum, I need some of these 3 drums and this drum. And then once I tell it that, it runs up here through these hoses, goes up into the, there's like a, it's called an atomizer in this housing unit, and it spins and it throws the fungicide and insecticide around and it covers the seed. So when they go into that drum, they come out green. That's an air gate right here that tells you, or that lets the seed out by itself. And then this thing over here, this red machine, is a dry additive feeder. Basically, it helps dry the seed when it's coming out of this conveyor right here. And then we load it out of here into a wagon like this, or whatever the grower brings us. Usually, mainly what I do is I treat it and then go deliver it to the grower, to their farm or to their field sometimes, and then they go and plant it. So I think we're going to show you a little bit of that today. I do need to run it without any beans in it because it rained a little bit, and if you don't run it before the beans, they will get swelled up with some of the water from the rain, and then they won't run through guys' planters correctly. So need to make sure we take care of that before we get down to business. So let's show you. I'm gonna turn this on, and that, and one more thing, that. Okay, so you can kind of hear it, it gets pretty loud, but we're running this conveyor right here to be able to run the swollen beans out, and then we're also running this conveyor that has down there at the end, way down there, I can see some water coming out of it, so I'm glad I did that, because that water all would have gotten up into the seed bin, and then those beans would have been they would have been swollen, and then sometimes they even get stuck up in there, so I'm really glad I just did that. So I'll let that go for a couple seconds, and then we'll get treating some beans. I do have to kind of get moving, so this video might just be a quick snippet of what I do here. Later I'll hopefully be able to have more time to explain it better to you, but hopefully you can watch it and kind of get the gist of it. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just selecting the farmer's name, selecting what seed they're getting, and selecting what treatment they're getting put on and how many. And then how it works is the bins outside run it through this conveyor, and this thing right here weighs it. So it does it based on weight. And then it'll shut off, it'll close the bin gate at the bottom. It'll close that at the right exact time, and it'll bring in the exact amount of pounds that it needs, and then we'll start it up and get it treated. Okay, so here's the finished product. We're getting ready to take them out of that hopper. We'll run them up onto that, and then we'll back the planter up and we'll fill the planter with it. Right now, that's my dad right there. He's not very YouTube friendly at the moment. He is taking the one variety out of the planter and putting the other one in. That way we don't get any burning when we go to spray, because one is an extend variety and then the other one's a plenish, so you can only spray certain chemicals on certain beans. So we're trying to get them cleaned out so we don't have any problems. Well everyone, we got rained out for the day, so I'll have to show you a planting video some other time. Just got home and it hardly looks like it rained here, so hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to go again. This is my dog Callie. I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has served and is currently serving. If you like the channel, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribe. And that way you can figure out when the new videos are out and you can watch them.